Ayun! Kamusta ka, paring Janno Gibbs? Yan. How are you,
Hey, best
bro?
friend.
Ayan. Mga bagong beshi.
Beshi.
Oh, yeah, ganda
Okay
ng
naman, okay naman.
ganda ng picture natin. Anong phone ba yan? Chinese phone ba yan? Parang filtered na filtered yung mukha natin. Ha? Ang gwapo ko bigla doon. Ha?
Maganda ilaw ko eh. Maganda
Ang ganda
lighting ko
eh.
eh.
Parang siya, di naman ako gano'ng kagwapo, sabi ko. Bakit ang gwapo ko dyan sa camera mo, pare? Of course, later on, nagti-teaser lang tayo. Later on, pag sabihin natin sa mga kasama natin dyan, they should look forward to more of us, having more
Yeah,
conversations separately and together, God willing,
yeah,
in the
yeah.
coming months. No, unang-una, Jano, no, gusto kitang balikan, in the past weeks at least, no? I mean, for a long time, we were planning doing a
Yeah.
follow-up. But it's because, alam mo naman, maraming nag-bash sa akin kasi nakisawsaw ako daw dun kay issue ni Liza. Ako naman, of course, sabi ko, this is a public interest issue. Wala pa akong
Yeah,
karapatan.
of course.
Diba? So, I mean, wag naman turfing, ganon.
Of
Pero
course.
marami nagalit sa akin dyan because sinasabi nila na marang unfair ako dun sa sinabi ko sa, yung plot natin, sana medyo more level up. Gano. I mean, aminado naman ako, my tweets are a little bit, sometimes, a little bit too much. No? Medyo madrama, medyo aggressive. But my intention perhaps was not, it was not bad. My intention was just to highlight na medyo kailangan talaga natin to go beyond cliches and formulaic approaches and all. Now, the thing is, of course...
Sorry,
yeah,
can I... Ako rin I'd like to correct you on that. If in
exactly. Yeah, please
opinion,
go ahead.
In my opinion, it's not the lack of plot twists and we have great material coming out. Not your usual. I can cite you some yung Ibarra and Maria Clara, which is basically being praised sa ABS, marami na kakaiba of new and creative material. Yun lang gusto kong i-correct. Kaya lang pagdating sa movies, yung tinatangkilik ba yung mga creative artsy stuff? Apparently hindi.
Okay, Jana, just to clarify, obviously I had many sub-tweets, where I had to explain further kasi ilan lang naman makakasya mo sa tweet. And of course, pwede mo sabihin, kasi naman, ginusto mo yan, di ba? Now, for me naman, of course, maraming super talented actors, maraming super talented directors. That's precisely why I'm saying this. Hindi ko sasabihin yan kung wala tayong pag-asa. Bakit ko pa sasabihin yan, di ba? More than that, I absolutely agree. We have fantastic movies. Kaya sabi ko, nung 1980s pa lang, 1970s, 60s pa lang, golden era pa lang natin.
Golden era.
Magaling. Until recently, chine-check ko rin sa Netflix, yung mga Filipino movies on Netflix. They're fantastic. I love them. Super artsy, independent one. But siguro, just to clarify, of course, what I meant was the more mainstream. Like out of 10, probably 6 or 7 are more formulaic cliche, while 3 are fantastic. Yung indie movie natin, next level yan. Magaling talaga yan. Wala akong masabi. Sila Mendoza, sila Pepe Joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's brilliant people out there. You're also there. Ang sinasabi ko lang dyan is, if you look at the more common products that are coming out for mainstream audience, kutob ko, nagiging medyo repetitive or predictable yung kanilang plot compared dun sa mga more mainstream na lumalabas, let's say from Korea. Although, to be honest, John, I'm not a fan of Korean, stuff, right? I mean, I like Japanese, I like French movies, I like Turkish, Iranian, Taiwan, whatever. But ang thing ko lang is, napansin ko, one reason na bumibenta ang Korean is because even their mainstream stuff is a little bit outside the box thinking or interesting, cliffhanger, etc. So I never meant that we don't have great movies. We have so many great movies, but it's just that the more mainstream one, the tendency is more formulaic and all than not. And obviously, John, the context also there was yung comment ni Liza Soberano na, parang ang daming love team. The love team is a kind of a very Filipino phenomenon, and there's like an overemphasis on the love team. Yeah, I hope you caught me there. Sorry about the slight connection issue.
Yeah, no, it's okay. About the cliches, 2 things yung kino-compare mo sa Koreans and ganda ng product nila talaga eh. It boils down to 2 things. One is hindi pinapanood dito sa atin eh, yung pagkakaiba at ano. So,
Mm.
it's a business. So, whatever you see on the mainstream is what sells. Kasi sinubukan na nitong producer na gumawa ng medyo kakaiba at hindi pinapanood. So, it's still a business. Two, budget. It all boils down to budget.
Yeah.
Ang Korean novelas and Korean movies, even Bollywood movies, grabe ang layo ng budget natin.
Yeah, napansin ko, pati yung mga Indian movies nag-improve na, no? Yung parang RRR,
Yeah. RRR,
the next level, no? Medyo
Yeah.
level na sila. So,
Yeah.
you're right. That's Indian mura. That's very, very expensive. That takes a lot of investments and all. JANNO, I mean, you're not a producer per se, right? But what's your understanding of the economics of film production? I mean, we know the general rule of 3-1, no? That you have to make 3 times more than your expenses so that you break even. From your own experience, long time in showbiz, your dad being in the showbiz, your wife, showbiz. From all of these experiences, can you tell us more about the economics of film industry in the Philippines?
Specifically, anong gusto mong malaman?
No, like how difficult it is to raise funds. Exactly. Like, is it more difficult nowadays? Is it easier nowadays compared to before?
It's lumiit na yung budget natin because of a lot of things. Streaming is I think the biggest culprit.
Right.
Oo. Streaming. So just to give you an example, nung 90s kami nila Andrew E, mga ganon. We would shoot mga ganon.
Favorite ko yan, sorry.
We would shoot movies walang timeline. We can stretch until 3 months, shoot a few scenes today, and then pahinga na tayo, let's go back to it next week or something. 3 months pwede kaming abutin. Now,
I see
it worked. So, because of budget and stuff, now, because streaming na lang, konti na lang nanonood, we're down to a week. To 1 week, or just some even just a few days to come up with a movie.
Right. So you're saying now compress, no? Yung timeline.
Oh.
So that puts extra pressure, and that could also have effect on the quality, no? I mean, if limited
of course.
mo, konti ng time mo, ang dami mo kailangang gawin, that's going to make it very, very difficult. I see what you're saying. So there's a streaming aspect. What about the aspect of ABS-CBN? Because I mean, like OG Diaz was telling us the other week na ABS-CBN was at the forefront in terms of making sure na we're prepared for the streaming world. And then biglang nawala yung ABS-CBN sa eksena, marami sa kanilang mga supporters pumunta na lang sa Netflix, ganun. What is your say on that? I know all of us have been working with different networks, including with ABS-CBN, but putting all of that aside, what is your understanding as an industry insider, if I can put it that way, JANNO?
About being out of the picture?
Once the franchise was removed, do you think there was a significant impact on the film industry and all when ABS-CBN was
oo, kasi you can count siguro maybe 3 outfits that put out good movies. That's Viva, Star Cinema, and Regal at best. And that's it. So taking one, tapos pati channels natin, 3 lang yun eh, di ba? 7, 2, and 5. So if you take out one, that's a really big.
The biggest one at some point, right? Yeah, that's a huge. Well, OG was saying something like, nung nawala yung ABS-CBN, it's not like yung tumaas yung viewership ng iba, parang yung mga ABS-CBN followers pumunta na lang online or something like that. Do you have a similar observation?
No naman. Channel 7 is lording over the TV industry.
Right, right, because of this.
And so may nag-benefit naman.
The Maria Clara is a GMA, right? The Maria Clara
Yes,
one.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And I know the backstory of the producer. Fantastic person. I'm super impressed by that. So, by the way, I'm not saying we're not producing great stuff. It was just a general comment. But going back to the Jano, what about yung sinasabi ni Liza na this love team thing is it's a kind of like an overdone formula in the Philippines? No, I mean I don't agree also exactly with what she said. But what do you have to say about that thing? Na you don't allow certain actors to
Hindi.
express themselves kasi andun na sila sa love team, blah 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 blah. Like, what do you have to say about that?
Ako, I came from a love team.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I'm a big of I'm a product of a good love team. Kami ni JANNO Manilin. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that love team. That's what introduced me to the mainstream.
Right.
So, and I think kailangan pa rin natin yun, yung love team. It's actually there's a lack of it now.
Right.
Ang last na malalakas sila Lisken, Jade, James Reid Nadine, yun ang last na malalakas eh. After that medyo we need that. We Filipinos love kilig and you know all that stuff. So we need that, and then you can move on after that.
So what you're saying it's a phase thing, right? It's like it's a journey, part of a rite of passage almost, right?
Right. Like yung mga it's like yung mga nagsasexy. Yung mga nagsasexy films.
The other side of the
other side.
Yung
mga nagsasexy films. It's a start. It's a way of getting people to know you. Pag popular ka na.
Marami rin artist na nagsasexy, di ba? Like yung mga dating love team, tapos ngayon biglang sexy ball na or something like that, right? Meron din tayong mga cases na ganun if you want a second wind in your career. I see what you're saying. Jano, let me ask you another thing also about this. I mean, do you see that...
Sorry. Liza said na parang dito lang parang sinabi niya dito lang sa Philippines.
Filipino thing, which I don't agree with, obviously.
No, it's
Koreans,
right? Of course not. Koreans, even in the US, meron tayo. May love teams.
That's what I'm saying. I don't fully agree also with her. I just like the fact that she kind of opened the discussion. And alam mo naman, mga katulad ko, I'm a discussion guy. I want to talk about things because I know we can do better. I know we can be great again.
Right.
We're good already. I'm not saying we're not good, but we can be even greater, right? Kasi naalala ko dyan, nung college days ka, I would go, I don't know, Indonesia or I don't know, some country. And then, alam na nila yung mga pangako sa'yo. Kilala nila si Jericho Rosales.
Yes.
I mean, they love it. When you say Filipino, immediately they'll say those things. Of course, now it's a very different picture. Everyone knows, I don't know, BTS, Korean stuff, whatever. And so, na-feel ko yung glory days eh. So, parang a part of me, parang sana naman. And these glory days were like 15 years ago. Hindi naman ako matanda, diba? So that's where I'm coming from. Kaya sabi ko, I hope people don't get it too wrong, but of course it's ganun talagang Twitter, madali misunderstood. I mean, my sense is even Liza is misunderstood, right? I mean, what is your
of course.
What's going on there? I mean, as a colleague, as a kuya, like what is your understanding of what's happening with Liza? Is this rebranding? Is this just her finding her footing and going to Hollywood and becoming more expressive?
I think she was just answering a bash.
I see. Okay.
Yes. That's what sparked it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So she was just
she was responding to a bash na, hey, what's up? Kasi may nanonood yata nung YouTube nila James, and what they're doing there in the States, a day in the life of their production.
Right.
So parang may nag-comment na, hey, what's happening to you? Ganon. What are you doing to yourself? Yun. Tsaka kaya medyo galit yung ano niya.
Yung tone.
Yes.
So
she was just responding.
Triggered siya. So it was a triggered response.
Yeah.
I see what you're... Sorry, I didn't know about the context. So this is kakulangan on my part. Kulang pa ako sa show.
No, it's okay.
Na Liza. Minute hindi pa nandun. Sorry na. I mean, I have to keep up with so much around.
No.
Kaya nga I'm talking to you, John, because I'm you know, I welcome this opportunity to be corrected. I don't mind being corrected, especially an issue that clearly I have no direct expertise naman. But speaking of the economics part, obviously a big issue is also government support, because we know in Korea during pandemic, ang laki ng support ng government subsidies sa kanila. We know that in the 2000s, a whole ministry in Korea, I think the culture ministry, etc., they had a kind of a sub-agency to really help and build a global Korean film industry. So clearly, yung term namin dyan, developmental state model. No?
Yeah, yeah.
Estado na talaga tutulungan ka. We also know in France, for instance, they have a very clear quota systems to protect their own culture against Hollywood and foreign movies. So do you think that's really the way forward for the Philippines? More aggressive quota systems or more aggressive subsidies, etc. Na kaya ng
It's
gobyerno natin
yes.
ng world, hindi naman tayo Korea. So
yeah, it's great that you mentioned that. That is my primary talaga idea.
Yeah.
Na especially na maraming mga artista ngayon in our Senate, si Senator Robin, sila Jinggoy, Lito Lapid, sila Jinggoy, sila Bong Revilla. I hope they you know.
Yeah.
But I hope kasi tama ka. Yung like Korean films and TV shows kaya nagko-flourish, kaya maganda ang budget nila and everything. Malaki ang tulong ng gobyerno nila. Right. Because alam ng gobyerno nila na you know, it's a good export product.
Right. Soft power, etc. Alam mo, Jan, may nag-comment, sabi niya, kaya bumaba yung kalidad ng cinema kasi lahat nasa Senado na. So, ibalik na sa cinema. That was quite witty. Sabi niya, ibalik na yung mga Robin Hood na yan. Ako nga, sabi ko, baka si Andrew Inang susunod dyan eh. Underrating is going, diba? I see what you're saying, but also perhaps no tax breaks, no, that could be a big issue, no, yung tax ng buwis yun yung pansin ko dyan yeah.
Sana malayo tayo from the foreign films. Sana mas mataas yung tax nila, tayo maliit. Ticket prices, sana mas hindi na afford ng, I mean, if you have Netflix, you have YouTube, yung mga our poor,
right,
diba, the poor, would you spend for
not even poor, I mean, John, not even the underprivileged. I mean, even for middle class, right? Yung ticket, manonood sana ako ng Made in Marites 2, diba? Biglang 360 or 80. Biglang, wait lang, yung Netflix ko monthly 250 lang yata sa phone. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's justified, diba? Wala naman akong libreng ticket. Di naman tayo binigyan ng ating syudad or something like that. So, like, yung idea of you know, cashing out 360
right.
And like you're not really sure whether this movie is, you know, worth your time, etc. Of course, I have to do it because it's my job, right? But in general, I can understand while others don't feel it. Like, kaya nalungkot ako, for instance, na ako ng Oras de Peligro, walang tao masyado, mga ganun. And I can understand the economics of that. So, sabi nga ni OG, for instance, he was saying, why not gawin mo 3-in-1 or something like that? You know, like, for every 3 tickets you buy in a Filipino movie, you get 1 free or something like that. Like, create incentives.
Something like that,
You get what I'm saying? And so,
ako, lower ticket prices. Tapos, merong pang isang, you know naman sa States, di ba? Movies stay in the theaters for like months.
Correct.
Do you know that here, sa local movies natin, if a movie doesn't do well, even on the first day, the next day tanggal na yun.
Yung parang buwelo time, no? Yung buwelo time niya, sobrang konti. Yeah.
Tanggal na yun. Let's say, usually showing tayo ang local movies Wednesdays or Thursdays eh.
Right.
So Wednesday you don't do good, Thursday, Friday tanggal ka na. When we all know na weekends ang pasok ng tao.
Yung buwelo. Yung parang give them chance to build momentum. I see what you're saying, yeah. Mahal kasing aircon eh.
Things that
siguro yun ang inisip ng mga mall, ang mahal ng aircon, di ba?
Yeah, that's true. Business pa rin.
Yun nga, yeah.
Wala ka naman din ipapalit eh. Mahina din yung ipapalit.
Yun din naman, so, diba? Exactly.
Diba? So,
kung Ant-Man rin naman, wag na. yung Ant-Man 2, di ba? Yun lang naman papalitan ko na lang, di ba? No, I really appreciate this. I think we really have the honest conversation, especially about the economics of this, the tax incentives part. And you're right. I mean, ganun din naman ginawa sa kunyari sa mga car industry, no? Kung gagawa ka ng kotse mo for the first time, let's say Vietnam, Korea, hopefully one day Philippines, sa una, syempre yung kalidad ng kotse mo, hindi kasing level ng mga foreign cars. So, hindi mo talaga kaya compete in the earlier years, no, yung tinatawag na infant industry. So, you have to support them and make the foreign products slightly more expensive so that people kind of go for local because that's what Korea.
Right.
People say Koreans, ganito ang Korea because nationalistic sila. Well, maybe, but actually Koreans had to buy junk Korean cars 50 years ago because that's the only thing they could afford. Ang mahal ng imported cars. So, this is the brutal reality of first building your industry. And parang sa Pilipinas, hindi naman saling pusa, but it's like, it's an open season. Like anything comes in and all. Kaya ang hirap to build the local industry and all, no?
Yeah.
But Janno, okay, now let's play a little bit of a devil's advocate. If may pagkakulang sa ating cinema or film industry, or mga things na magaling tayo dati na pwede natin recover, like what are the points of improvement naman? Like, I like the fact that you push back against some of the criticism, but are there points for improvement that you want to highlight? There are areas that we can further improve, aside from government support, aside from, support more yung mga independent movies. Ako, sinasabi ko dyan, kami, mga consumers, may obligation din kami to search for and support actively.
Right.
Magagaling na hindi pa nandun economically, pero para acting skills pa lang nandun. Like for instance, si Coco Martin before, di ba? Hindi siya kilala. Nakita ko lang dun sa mga indie movie and ang galing na to. Now I'm happy he made it to me. Right? So you want to have more of the Coco Martin types. You want to have more of the independent directors make it there. But so we have to support them. But on your side, as a producer, as someone who's on the supply side of things, ano yung mga points of improvement? So, ang dami akong sinasabi because I want to give context to
it's okay. Well, pwede yung sinasabi mo, yung baka kulang pa tayo ng new stuff, no? Pwede. We can try new stuff. Pero yun nga, the problem is, pag hindi pinanood, lugi yung producers, kawawa naman. But another thing, before, and lalo na sa States ngayon, no? Si Tom Cruise, mapapanood mo lang sa movie. Hindi mo siya mapapanood sa TV, di ba?
Right.
So, tayo, sino ba yung napapanood mo sa movies? Sila din.
Yeah, exactly.
Yung mga napapanood mo daily, sila Vice Ganda, si Coco Martin.
Yeah.
So, but it's economics. We need it. We need TV. That's our our office. That's our daily job. Ganun. So, but ideally, maganda yung like FPJ, sa pelikula mo lang mapapanood. So you will just so manonood ka talaga pag naglabas siya ng movie kasi hindi mo siya napapanood sa TV.
Right. So you parang you want some segmentation and avoid overexposure or something like that?
Oo, it plays a big plays a big part.
Yeah. Specialized ka sa movie rather than serials because each of them demand this different kind of acting skills and all like that.
Kasi kung napapanood ka naman everyday, but bakit papanoorin?
Exactly. Like parang overexposure. The other question I have, John, is that are there specific actors, directors that you think are fantastic and have to be given more attention and love? I mean, are there particular people that come to your mind? Or that you believe our audience should watch more and then talagang mas ipatronize something? Aside from yourself, obviously.
Well, I'm currently in pre-production for my directorial debut.
That's why.
So
no, but
so I'm excited about that. But I think we're good. Even you know what, the sexy films in Viva Max.
No, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. Anyway, the sexy films in Viva Max, even the sexy films in Viva Max have great directors. Yun ang difference. Yun ang difference ng Viva Max dun sa ibang streaming. If you watch it, maganda pa rin yung quality, maganda yung shots, and a lot of them are elevating into dramas na, and they're
Spin-off.
winning. Oo. Yeah.
Ayos. Yeah.
Madami sa kanila.
Is there one in particular you want to emphasize or mention?
Teka, kalimutan ko lang. Sila Roman Perez.
Right.
Wait,
Ako si Lord De Vera, alam na yung mga ganyan.
Oo nga. Hindi, yung director ko sa nakakalimutan ko. Director ko sa A Hard Day.
Ayun.
A Hard Day.
A Hard Day.
So A Hard Day is a great movie. It's in Netflix. Action, thriller.
Right.
But that director started with sexy films.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was just a phase that you have to go for building experience and building network, and building artistic taste and skills and all before you make it to the. Oh, that's very interesting way of looking at it. Now, another thing I want to ask John is, what about in terms of I don't know, like how much. Kasi ito yung napansin ko dyan, marami tayong mga ginagawa na parang ginagaya lang natin yung Korea. The same way na ginagaya natin yung Mexican teleserye back in the day, right? Yung mga Betty La Fea days, yung mga ganon, di ba? Naalala mo yung mga time na yun na may sariling Betty La Fea, may sariling, alam mo yun, I don't know, Eternal, whatever.
Adaptation.
Exactly. Like how much, like for you, what is the best way to do adaptation while remaining authentically Filipino? Kasi parang kung puro kang adaptation, I mean, it has its value. I understand it, but how do you build the parang unique Filipino brand of movies, right?
I'll give you two examples
Right.
of great adaptations. One is yung kakasabi ko lang, A Hard Day.
Right.
That's a Korean movie.
Adaptation.
They are both in Netflix. Yung Hard Day na Korean and the Filipino.
Interesting.
The director greatly made it Filipino, made it our own.
Exactly.
Nasa touches lang naman yan eh. And then another a bigger example is Miracle in Cell Number something with Agamulak. That's a Korean adaptation.
Interesting.
Which did very well here. Iniba nung director yung flavor and nilagyan ng Filipino touches. Made it our own.
When you say Filipino touch, in what sense? Like yung mga jokes, mga hugot lines?
Yes. Yeah.
Like what like yun nga, like what makes a movie distinctly Filipino? Yun ang gusto ko malaman. Like if you could give me an idea of that, I would appreciate it.
Nako, hindi ko alam.
Yun nga, di ba?
Mas compared to Korean culture, parang mas direct tayo in how we talk, in how we express emotions, di ba? Sila mas
implied. Confusion.
Yeah, implied. Pati yung salita nila medyo hindi direct to the point.
More aphoristic, more allegorical, habang sa Pilipino ay parang
diretso
exactly,
tayo.
I know what you're saying. That's a good way of putting it. I mean, the reason I also ask is because many are saying, for instance, how do we make adobo a global food, right? And then nagka-criticize sila if the adobo is given a little bit Western twist or whatever. They say, oh, hindi yan authentic. Pero sinasabi ko, well, we call spaghetti Jollibee a Filipino. It's Italian, right? I mean, or yung burger or yung Chicken Joy, it's like from US, Kentucky or whatever, right? So if we can make that Filipino a spaghetti and a Kentucky chicken, then why not make, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, I see a parallel between those things.
And plus, FYI lang, a lot of Korean telenovelas are adaptations also of US.
Of US, yeah. Or also
Japanese. Merong Korean Suits.
Right.
Merong Korean ano pa ba yung isang show? Basta meron may mga kinukuha sila from the States.
No, I completely agree. In fact,
So
I
it's
would
not just us.
right. Yeah, I mean, Korea also used to copy a lot probably from J-pop, right? And back in the day, J-pop was
Yeah.
Musica Japan. And so I absolutely agree. Now, the success of Korea is also their ability to adapt and make their own. And I mean, that's the beauty of culture and arts, diba? Okay, that's what I appreciate. But now, can you tell us a little bit about your own project? So you just had a movie the other month. Now, obviously, I had the pleasure of dropping by. Yun lang, pakisabi pakisabi kay Ogie
Thank you.
Alcacid. Sabi mo, I said, oh, OG. Sabi ko, or something like that. Or sabi ko, OG. Yes. Oh my goodness. I don't think siya galit sa akin, di ba? Anyways, kaibigan mo
Okay
yun.
lang, mas
Yeah.
halos magkahawig naman sila mas gwapo lang ng konti si Ogie.
Kaya nga tinanong kay OG, paras naman kayo OG.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you.
Yeah. No, it was in my
joke lang.
It was in my kalog moment, though. It was in my kalog
Yeah.
moment. So I made that
Yeah.
statement. But
Yeah.
late, I was not aware I made that mistake. And then someone told me, ano ka ba tinawag mo siyang OG Diaz? So I had to apologize for that. Now going back to this, can you tell us a little bit about your own movie, recent movie, and also your upcoming project? Just teaser lang, at least for people to get to know about it, and what should they look forward to in that sense? Yeah.
The last movie, you want me to talk about the last movie?
Latest movie and your new directorial debut project also. If you can talk a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yung the movie that you watched, yung you were in the premiere, that's gonna come out in Netflix also. So watch out for that. Hello Universe.
Can you repeat?
Directed by
exactly. Hello Universe. Yes, please.
Hello Universe, directed by Sian Lim.
Yun
Ayun, at least iba yung story, diba? I mean, it's a comedy, but
exactly.
Medyo iba yung story. It's not your formulaic
exactly. That's my point.
comedy.
Kaya nga I'm telling you because I felt there's something different about your project and all. Kaya nga tinanong kita kasi clearly you're thinking outside the box. You're acting outside the box. I know kay Sian Lim, this was also his first directorial debut rin niya, diba? So, I think a lot of things were going on there. That's why I really appreciate it. Now, can you give us a little bit of teaser about why should they watch your latest movie, Hello Universe? What's going on there? It sounds funny and abstract and philosophical and like, what's going on there, Hello Universe? How did you
This is the one you watched,
title?
This is the one you watched, huh?
Yeah, that's for our audience.
Yeah, okay. For the audience.
For our audience.
It's about this guy. It's about me having a midlife crisis of sorts.
Right.
He's blaming this one moment where he missed the winning shot in high school for all the misgivings in life that he's getting. So a genie comes in and gives him that second chance to shoot that winning shot. But of course, butterfly effect. When this happens,
creates a different
Yeah. So yun yung kailangan nilang abangan, yung what happens to my life.
Right. May pagka The Bureau siya, di ba? Yung movie ba yan na The Bureau? Yung may parang path dependency kung si Matt Damon di na na-meet itong si babae, di na sila na in love, di siya, you know what I'm saying? Like it creates
yes.
The Bureau yung movie na yan, yeah. So may pagka ganun siya, very interesting. I mean, but how did you come up with the idea of your movie, yung Hello Universe? Where did it come from?
That's completely Direct Sian's. He wrote the movie himself. Yeah, he wrote the movie himself. He directed it. I gave a lot of inputs. Mahilig ako makialam sa mga dialogues and even scenes. Sabihin ko sa kanya, he would tell you na I was going for an alternate ending. Which sabi niya,
the ending is big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big, yeah.
Sabi niya parang wait lang Kuya JANNO, wait lang parang yan. Pero ultimately,
negotiate.
He went with it. Yeah,
he went with your proposal for the ending.
Yeah.
Oh, so there should have been a different ending.
I had a version of his ending. A
Right.
different version of
Ano
it.
yun, Director's Cut? Meron bang Director's Cut yan? May Director's Cut na version.
Meron siguro, meron siguro.
So how did it happen na ikaw yung pinili, and how did you come to accept that role? I suppose it's outside the box, interesting. I know you're a kind
Yeah.
of a quirky guy, like perfect sa'yo yan, but still, I mean, I'm sure there are also other great candidates, right? But why ikaw ang sa tingin mo? And why did you accept also the role? You felt na maganda para sa'yo?
Yeah. I'm in the Viva roster, so it's easy for me to, I'm always part of the lineup. But it's ultimately Boss Vic and the director's joint choice
Right.
for the actor. I'm happy they chose me. Tapos when I got the material, I loved it right away. And secondly, I believe in Sian. I know the person. I know he's very artistic and all that stuff.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming project, your own directorial debut? I mean, what made you think that it's time for you to do your directorial? Ayan, nainggit kay Shian, ganun ba yan? Ano nangyari?
Hindi. I'll tell you exactly.
Oh, you tell me what? You tell me.
No. I've always wanted to direct. My FYI lang, magyayabang lang ako ng konti.
Yeah, sige lang, go lang.
My grandfather is Jerry De Leon. He's a national artist for directing.
Right.
So I guess it's in the blood.
Right. Paninindigan mo na yan.
Paninindigan ko na. No, I always wanted to. But primarily, what pushed me talaga to direct na is the reason is para magawa ko yung hindi ko magawa with other directors.
I see.
Yes, like syempre with someone else directing you, you can only go as far as suggestion.
Right.
Diba? So but may gusto kang gawin na iba, hindi mo magawa. So that primarily it's para magawa ko yung gusto kong gawin.
So ano yan, parang creative hugot? Yung hindi mo na-express nun, isama-sama mo silang lahat to one big project. Pero may pagkaganon, di ba?
Yeah.
I like that, very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming director? Like, just a teaser, like, is it also like your latest movie, Hello Universe? Is it about, something makulit, something existential? What's going on there?
Ano siya?
Dark comedy, like what's going on there?
It's a comedy action movie. Comedy action siya.
That's an interesting. Parang may pagka Hong Kong feel. I mean, nanalo ngayon sa Oscars yung Everywhere All the Time.
Everything everywhere.
Multiverse din to.
Yeah. Hindi naman. Yeah. Parang I'll give you a
just teaser, of course. No spoil.
Parang I'm a father and then na masyadong mabait, na tinatake advantage na dahil sa sobrang bait.
Right.
Something happens,
biglang nag-transform ka.
Magwa-wild ako.
Parang alam ko yung, di ba ganun din yung movie ngayon na trending sa Netflix, yung guy na Call Me By, Better Call Saul. Alam mo yung actor na yan?
Nobody.
Nobody. May pagkaganon, di ba?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Parang ganon.
And that movie did I love that movie. I mean, it's just so crazy. I love it. So,
parang ganon.
Ako na-excite sa sinasabi mo. Yeah, I think we need that. Yung biglang, ang tawag ko dyan, Gone Girl. Alam mo yung movie na Gone Girl, di ba? Perfect wife siya and all. Tapos nung nalaman na nag-cheat si Ben Affleck sa kanya yung actor.
Yeah.
Nagwala siya, di ba? So,
yeah.
Gone Girl, right? So, I like that. Transformers.
Yeah.
That's really good. Now, Janno, going back to this, what brought us together is, of course, our shared concerns about our polity, if I could put it that way, in our society is governed. What is your feeling about, kasi recently meron kang post sa Instagram na parang alam mo yung parang Japan sagot sa hirapan, yung parang kailangan ba i-cha-cha yan? Yung mga ganon. Kailangan ba i-memo? Ganon ka na ngayon, di ba? I could see that. And kanina nakita ko, I know he's your colleague, but I saw one of your colleagues who's now in head of the amendments constitutional. Sabi niya, kung may cha-cha sana, wala yung oil spill na naayos na. So sabi ko siguro climate change, global inequality, Ukraine war, baka lahat maayos ng cha-cha yan. But honestly, like, where is that coming from? Yung mga ganyan posts mo, yung mga I mean, you can share it if you want. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I posted. I was in the car. I filmed a poor area na ganong jumbled yung wires.
Yeah.
Tapos pinakita ko yung mga kontador. Alam mo ba yung kontador?
Right, correct.
So tapos ang caption ko yon. Kailangan pa ba ng constitutional amendment para ayusin to? So a lot of
Buti pa amendment, cha-cha talaga talaga change totally. Yeah.
So marami nag-ano sa akin na bakit ayaw mo ng constitutional convention na change ganun. Sabi ko where in my caption did I say ayoko ng change?
Right.
Wala naman ako sinabi. My point is ang dami natin pwedeng unahin na
within existing laws.
Sorry?
Within existing laws.
Yes.
Hindi mo kailangan i-reinvent yung law. I mean, common sense na hindi bawal ng mga ganitong bagay, di ba? You don't need
eventually, we need to update some of the older stipulations, pero with our existing constitution nga, ang dami nating hindi masunod eh.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Tapos dadagdagan mo pa, di ba?
Dadagdagan mo pa.
Yeah.
Tsaka yun nga, bigger picture na kasi yung, which okay naman sa akin, no? They're looking at the bigger picture. Pero, ayusin mo muna yung maliliit na bagay. Kung yun nga, hindi mo maayos malalaki pa.
Right. I mean, go back to basics. And parating ko nga sinasabi, sometimes there's no need to reinvent the wheel, right? It's just making sure the wheel, kung na-flat siya, ayusin mo siya. I mean, isa pang of course problem, JANNO, with people would say, I mean, paano ka magkaroon ng pagbabago and yung mga mag-oversee ng bagong saligang batas ay yung mga very trapo na ayaw mo. So, common sense, di ba? That's it, di ba?
That's exactly what you said. Parang this is not the group.
Not the people you want to entrust the process to, right?
Parang sana sa next na lang i-tackle.
I mean, it's like letting sabi nga nila, like it's like letting the wolves guard the lamb. It's like, ingatan mo tong lamb na to para baka patabayin natin, para gumanda ang buhay natin, but you're leaving it to the wolves to do that.
Yeah, kakabasa ko lang kanina kay Senator Zubiri, na sabi niya hindi naman kailangan ng di ba? Hindi naman kailangan ng constitutional to make this specific we can do a Republic Act ganyan.
Yeah, actually, the point of Zubiri is the problem is may mga nakatenga na mga amendments na pwede na gawin na hindi komplikado na baguhin pa yung saligang batas. Pero dahil pilit nung iba na i-change na lang yung buong constitution, parang naging mas komplikadong usapan, 'di ba? Parang point of theory, pwede natin ayusin from within. We just need new laws. And nakatenga na yan dahil pinipilit ng iba. Tapos of course, nagkaroon ng World War dahil si Senator Robin, inimbita niya yung mga kanyang colleagues from the Congress to give testimony sa Senate. It's kind of a weird thing because you have to have some courtesy, separation and all. So ang gulo ng usapan, di ba? Kaya sabi ko, sana yung mga iba dyan, bumalik na lang sa showbiz para gumanda lalo yung cinema natin. Parang yung politika natin, too much drama na eh. But speaking of the Senate, we were talking about this MTRCB hearing, right? And you feel that certain issues that were not covered. Can you give us an overview of what was the hearing all about? At
I watched the whole thing kasi kasama dun yung Viva people and I know na isa sa mga I know that one of their biggest concerns was Viva Max kasi madaming sexy movies doon and hindi na-regulate? Should the MTRCB be given powers to regulate streaming sites?
Yeah.
Ako, well, FYI lang, ang Viva has meron na silang memorandum with may MOA na sila with
Right.
MTRCB. So, you know,
To follow certain
but
regulations, yeah. Right. I see what you're saying, yeah.
yeah, but to me, remember, MTRCB, for me, ang nire-regulate dapat public viewing. I mean, sinehan,
Yeah, not private
sinehan,
viewing. I see.
TV is public viewing kasi, 'di ba? Pero yung private viewing, nagbabayad ka naman nun, 'di ba? Parang hindi na public viewing 'yun eh. Sarili mo na 'yun eh.
Yeah. So
that's
medyo
one.
na yan. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So two, what wasn't mentioned there, like Viva Max, no? Specifically, one, it has a child lock, which hindi na mention.
Right.
May child lock yun eh.
So may software.
Yeah. So, tapos, two, to subscribe, syempre, aalamin yung age mo and information and, you know, stuff like that. So, there are measures to hindi na mention yun eh.
Yeah. So hindi na mention yan, like
hindi na
pero
mention
dapat alam ng senators yan, di ba? I mean, you kind of have to make the basic research about what are the existing safeguards, etc. So sa tingin mo unfair yung hearing na parang ang daming mga hindi na mention tuloy, parang
hindi naman hindi na mention nung mga nung guests nung
kulang sila, yeah.
Hindi siguro na ano na sila, na rattle na sila sa questioning. Plus on another level, they should think of it as nung yung Viva Max, yung streaming, streaming generally gave me and a lot of actors work in the pandemic.
Right.
I mean, if it weren't for that streaming site,
wapak.
Gutom kami.
I see what you're saying. So it really provided livelihood, no? Life support.
Yes.
Hindi lang livelihood, life support system during that time. So dapat ma-appreciate yung kanyang contributions and all, and the safeguards already there. Now, John, I want to end on a much more positive note, and obviously, we'll mention shortly later on that, you know, we're going to be part of some similar projects. So abangan na rin. So people have to expect more of us talking, hopefully properly in studio, together, maayos, hindi ito, di ba? So ano lang yan, patikim lang yan. But before going to the teaser part and plugging in things here and there, what gives you energy, hope, optimism, you know, this drive to do what you're doing? Because you're very prolific. I know marami ka rin frustration sa ating lipunan, you know, and yet you still keep on going. And of course, I can relate also with that because I also try to keep on going despite my frustrations, despite all the bashing, etc. What about you, John? What keeps you going? What gives you optimism? What gives you this drive to go? And what do you look forward to in your industry in the Philippines, as far as talent, showbiz, entertainment, everything's concerned? Yeah.
Ako, I grew up in a showbiz family. It's all I know.
Yeah,
it's the only thing I know. It's personally, it's my passion.
Right.
So whether it works or not, I'm gonna stick with it. And yung sa nakikita ko naman, yung the pagiging positive ko about it is I can see the talent that we have. I can see the efforts we're doing, the writers, the creativity that we have. Nandun yung effort eh. Nandun yung effort. So
and then yung effort, and then yung talent, and so maybe just give it a little bit more push, no, a little bit more help, a little bit more patronizing our own. So that's probably that. So I'm looking forward also to your movie, and obviously mag-plug in na tayo. Of course, I look forward to working more with you, Janno, in direct or indirect capacity. You want to do a plug-in without giving away too much?
Si Richard will be in my movie.
Yan ang hindi ko alam. Wait lang. Saan yung manager ko?
Na ako magde-direct. Si
Yeah.
Richard po ay magbo-bold, magse-sexy.
Let's take
Would you like to see that? Please comment below.
Wala, baka may MTRCB tayo dyan, bro.
Would you like to see Richard in a Viva Max sexy movie? No. Richard and I will be not exactly in the same show, but will be in a part of a group.
Yeah. Right.
A part of a series of shows.
And
in one umbrella.
Exactly. So parang may pagka Justice League, 'di ba? Yung parang yung
Yeah.
ikaw Flash, ako Batman, but we're doing the same thing. We're part of the same universe, right?
Yeah.
But I look forward to cameos, right? You doing cameo with us, me doing cameo with you guys. So
yeah,
I look forward to that. Yeah. So in short, yung mga natutuwa sa mga discussion natin ngayon at hindi masyadong natutuwa sa low quality, mga low budget na ginagawa natin, huwag kayo mag-alala. Medyo mas maganda sana yung budget natin. Kahit Viva Max level, pwede na, di ba yung budget? Sabi ni OG, mga 5 to 8 million, pwede na daw. Something like that. Anyway, maraming salamat, bro. Thank you so much. I wanted to talk so much more with you. Yun lang, unfortunately, because of some logistical issues. And obviously, medyo heavy yung topic ko kanina doon sa isang podcast ko. So, I'm trying to transition. I know you also because you saw the discussion. Medyo mabigat yung topic na yun. So I'm just trying to make that mental transition. But I'm very glad for having this
ICC.
Yeah, medyo mabigat.
Gusto mo ba ng comment ko sa ICC?
Meron ka bang comment? Is it more uplifting? A little bit less grim? Ikaw?
Hindi, ito lang. Natatawa lang ako kasi pagka funds, kailangan natin ng international community. Tulungan nyo kami. Help us.
Yeah.
Pag West Philippine Sea,
tulungan
tulungan nyo kami. Pagka ICC na, wag kayong makialam. Nandiyan lang.
Mga dayuhan. Mga, mga
nakakatawa lang.
White people, dayuhan. Wala kayong mag-comment sa amin. Mga ganun. I know what you're saying. Yeah. That double standard.
Natatawa lang ako pag tulungan nyo naman kami. Pero wag kayong makikialam. Yun lang. It's just funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, of course, funny in a grim way, right? In a sense that we don't appreciate that it's a two-way street. No, when you're part of community of nations, they have responsibility to you, and you also have some responsibility to them. That's how it works, right? You cannot just have one-way street. Now you get benefits from the world, but when the world demands you to respect certain international universal values like human rights, human life, etc., then suddenly you come up with all of these attacks and all. Na katulad nga sinabi ni Attorney Carranza in a earlier podcast, sabi niya, actually a lot of people are criticizing it. We're the very signatories when we acceded to the Rome Statute, which made us not long ago, just barely a decade ago or so. So unfortunately, parang ganito sa atin. I mean, our argument, it depends on where we sit, no? Where we stand on issue depends on where we sit. It's not really about, unfortunately, about our convictions, etc. So hopefully that's something we can work on. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. As I said, despite all the logistical issues, kahit grabing oras na, kita niyo sa likod na, pinapaalis na yata ako sa restaurant. Sorry, may mga I always look forward to talking to you. So I really find this really enlightening. And John, hopefully, God willing, to more of this discussion. And sige, next time let's do it your way. No, let's do it the JANNO GIBBS way. Naman Viva Max, pero medyo your way, di ba? Isama rin natin si OG Alcacid.
Always nice talking to you, Richard.
Of course, my pleasure. And send your regards to your mom and family and loved ones. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure, bro. Send you links soon. Okay.